So today's topic is alcoholic liver disease and alcoholic liver disease. So something related to the alcohol, and that is why there is a problem. It will be a short 20 minutes free live teaching, and that is what I always do. My free live teachings are only of 20 minutes. This is a vast topic, but I will give you the most important and the most crisp points. There was a clinical case that I had posted yesterday, and in correlation to it, the discussion today. So, story. So, this small guy of around 35-36 years, he's been drinking alcohol every day. Initially, nothing happens. He continues drinking alcohol, nothing happens. He's happy, he's dancing, he's enjoying his life. Everything is good. So one fine day, accidentally, he just goes with his friend somewhere, and the friend says, now come on, I am going for an ultrasonography, so you also come for an ultrasonography. And he can afford, he's working, he's employed in a very good firm, and he's earning great money, and he tells, okay, come on, let's do this ultrasonography. I don't care, I have the money, I can pay. And the ultrasonography says there's a fatty liver. So there's a liver on the right hand side over here, and it has some fatty deposits, and that is why it is called as a fatty liver. So basically, at this point of time, this person has fatty liver, nothing else. No complaints, no problems, no symptoms, nothing else on ultrasonography. Okay, he keeps on drinking, enjoys his life. Now, his firm throws him out. Why? Because he keeps on drinking. He just loves drinking, and he's drinking every day, every time, all the time. So now he is unemployed, and you see his eyes. His eyes have turned yellow. So basically, he kept drinking. Now his eyes have turned yellow. His firm has thrown him out. He's unemployed now. And again he comes to the hospital. So now they tell him, your ultrasonography that was done few years back showed fatty liver. At that time, what did you do? He tells, I did nothing. I continued with my alcohol. So now when he comes, they say that now you have got hepatitis. So it is an alcoholic hepatitis that he got now. His eyes have turned yellow. His bilirubin levels are more than 4.5 milligrams per dl. The eyes have turned yellow. Bilirubin levels are more than 4.5 gram per dl. The aspartate transaminases and the alanine transaminases, that are the liver enzymes, have also increased. So basically, the liver has slightly deteriorated in action. But he still doesn't stop. He loves drinking. He keeps on drinking. More the merrier, more happy he is. Now what happens? Now he lands into a condition which is called as alcoholic cirrhosis. What does cirrhosis mean? Cirrhosis means that the liver becomes like a stone. The liver has nodules, fibrous nodules. So once the liver, which was very good, becomes fibrous. And this is how he looks. Sorry for the color that I'm using. So basically, I want to show that there is breast enlargement in this male, and the abdomen has also increased in the size. So basically, now the girth of the abdomen increases. This means there is a fluid accumulation in the abdomen, which is called as ascites. The breasts are enlarged in a male, which is called as gynecomastia, and he loses his sense. I mean, he doesn't know where he's walking, he doesn't know what he's talking, he doesn't know how to write, and somehow his hands show a different kind of tremors. So basically, the hands will show tremors like this. These are called as flapping tremors or hysterexis. This means that the guy came to you with cirrhosis, alcoholic liver cirrhosis, and also hepatic encephalopathy. So the story is that once which started with a happy guy who just had an alcoholic fatty liver, then it went on to alcoholic hepatitis with yellowness in eyes, then it went on to cirrhosis of liver with gynecomastia, ascites, and confusion which showed flapping tremors. He doesn't stop still. He continues drinking the alcohol. Now anybody can tell me what will be the next step if he still drinks the alcohol? Because now already he is lost. It started with alcoholic fatty liver, then it went on with alcoholic hepatitis, then it went on to alcoholic liver cirrhosis. What is the next that will happen to him? Anybody you can answer. Considering that alcohol is also a toxin, is also poisonous, that one is consuming for so many years altogether. The next step in the progression is hepatocellular carcinoma or cancer of liver. Yes, liver failure or cancer of liver. So alcohol is also toxin, is also cancerous, and now finally the alcoholic liver cirrhosis will land up into hepatocellular carcinoma. So in a span of 6 minutes, I have told you the entire alcoholic liver disease, what is going to happen in that umbrella of alcoholic liver disease. The first is alcoholic fatty liver, which progresses to alcoholic hepatitis, which progresses to cirrhosis of liver, and which finally progresses to hepatocellular carcinoma. Okay. Now, how many people, alcohol is consumed everywhere in the entire world. How many people do land up with hepatocellular carcinoma, and how many people do land up with cirrhosis of liver? Well, everybody who's drinking and enjoying. Okay. So the most important part is that the one who drinks regularly for more than 10 years will have problems. Regularly means in males, if one drinks 4 to 6 drinks a day, and a female if she drinks 2 drinks a day or more than 2 drinks a day continuously for more than 10 years, they will have problem. Why the number of drinks is less in female? Because there's a difference in metabolism, and the fat accumulation or the fat cells that are present, the fat tissue that is present in females is more, and that is why there's a difference in metabolism. That is why the level of alcohol is different for male and female. So for males, it is 4 to 6 glasses drinks a day for more than 10 years. In females, it is 2 to 4 drinks a day for more than 10 years. It will lead to alcoholic fatty liver, to hepatitis, to liver cirrhosis, to hepatocellular carcinoma. In hepatocellular carcinoma, not in hepatocellular carcinoma, but in liver cirrhosis, there's a very important term that happens that is called as portal hypertension. What is portal hypertension? First, I would want you to see this diagram, this one. So this is basically the stomach that has increased in size because of the accumulation of fluid, and this is called as ascites. Now on the abdomen, you can see that there are a lot of tortuous veins. So those green colored dancing things that you see are called as tortuous veins, and these veins are dilated and they look like snake. Do they look like snake? They do look like snake, and they're running all over the abdomen, and it is called as caput medusae or caput medusa. And why it is called so? Because it is named after this lady whose hair, it seems so, had snakes, and that was so, there's a resemblance of the veins on the belly which move like snake. So this hairstyle, I mean not the hairstyle, but she had hair like this which had snakes, and that this was called as caput medusae, and that is why this condition in liver cirrhosis, alcoholic liver cirrhosis, is called as caput medusae. So this is a sign of portal hypertension. When you see this in a patient, it is called as portal hypertension. Portal vein is present in the liver, and this portal hypertension happens in liver cirrhosis. This is the only condition which will show caput medusae or dilated tortuous vein. If you see this, then you know that there is portal hypertension. Other signs would be spider gynecomastia, and also flapping tremors if it is hepatic encephalopathy. Now we discuss the entire symptomology of what is going to happen in alcoholic liver disease umbrella. But why does it happen? So why it happens, why the pathophysiology in alcoholic liver cirrhosis, what is happening, that question will be given by your biochemistry metabolism. So alcohol is a foreign product which when ingested into the body has to be metabolized. Everything that we take from the mouth is to be metabolized. So alcohol is ingested, it is metabolized by the enzyme alcohol dehydrogenase, and then it forms acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is also not a good product. Acetaldehyde itself is toxic. So you basically don't want acetaldehyde also, you basically don't want alcohol also, and this metabolism continues. These foreign products accumulate, and that is a problem. How? Because alcohol is there. If alcohol dehydrogenase does not work properly, then alcohol will accumulate. What I mean to say is acetaldehyde is also not good to have in your body, but if there is no alcohol dehydrogenase, it is the worst thing to have. The other enzyme that acts on the alcohol is cytochrome P. Suppose it is not there, definitely the alcohol will also accumulate, but there will be reactive oxygen species that will jump in and that will cause problem in addition. So all answers to medicine is in biochemistry, and that is why biochemistry is important. That is why you should know the metabolism well. Now what is the treatment for this alcoholic liver disease, be it alcoholic fatty liver or alcoholic hepatitis or alcoholic liver cirrhosis or hepatocellular carcinoma? The treatment is very simple. What you're doing, don't do it. You're drinking continuously, don't drink continuously. Stop drinking. But this is, if you stop drinking, this is reversible only in the first stage. So if we have alcoholic fatty liver and we get to know that we have a fatty liver, and if we stop drinking, it is a reversible thing and you will have no problem. But if you still continue to drink and you land up with alcoholic liver cirrhosis, and then you think of giving up, it will not be easy. And it will not be reversible because cirrhosis has already happened. Cirrhosis means there are fibrous nodules on the liver, which you can almost palpate by your hand only. If you keep it on the liver, you know that the liver is enlarged in size and you can feel the nodules that are present on the liver. So then it will not be helpful. But the first part of treatment is removal of the alcohol from your routine. The second part of treatment is taking very good nutritious food, because the alcoholics are protein and energy malnourished. So if they take good nutrition, it will be helpful to them. The third that you can do is put them in the centers, rehabilitation centers, which will help them to get out of alcohol dependence. Then you can treat them with pentoxifylline. But the best treatment when there is liver cirrhosis is that you need to go for a liver transplant. The condition for going for liver transplant is that for 6 months the patient should not be taking alcohol. So sometimes not taking alcohol for 6 months becomes so nice that there is no requirement of a liver transplant. So that is the best part of it. But liver is an organ which detoxifies the entire human body, and this should not be destroyed. If it is destroyed, if it goes in failure, what are your lab investigations that will go haywire? So the first one is bilirubin. Bilirubin will increase, and I have seen a bilirubin of 45 also. That was the worst thing that I've ever seen. The patient was already in hepatocellular carcinoma. So bilirubin is increased. Aspartate transaminases and alanine transaminases are increased. These are the liver enzymes. The best part is that in alcoholic liver diseases, aspartate transaminases is more than alanine transaminases. This is one of your MCQs. That is AST to ALT is ratio is more than 2:1. Otherwise, AST and ALT are always equally elevated. Then gamma GT, gamma glutamyl transferases, is also elevated. This is a sign of liver disease when a GGT is elevated. The next that you will see is, obviously you have to see the point that I mentioned, albumin levels. Albumin levels will be very low in liver failure. Why? Because albumin is synthesized in the liver, and if liver is not okay, it cannot synthesize albumin and the albumins will be low. Again, the answer to it is in biochemistry. Albumin is synthesized by liver. Half-life of albumin is 21 days, and if albumin is constantly at a low level, this means chronic liver failure है. Acute नहीं है, chronic है, क्योंकि हमेशा से albumin low हो रहा है. The next thing that you will see is prothrombin time. Why? Because liver has a role in blood clotting factors. There will be thrombocytopenia, there will be bleeding, that I told you, there will be spider nevi, there will be bleeding tendencies. Maybe the person when vomits, the blood might come out. So there will be elevated prothrombin time. Do you think? Let me know in comments if it is elevated prothrombin time. One of you had asked me. Then you check for an on ultrasonography, and you know what the condition of the liver is. The best is to palpate the liver by the hand while you're doing per abdominal examination. You will get a very clear idea of liver cirrhosis. When you use your hand, you can feel the nodules very clearly. I have felt it. When you're near the patient, try it once. So basically, moral of the story is, there's a lot of progression in alcoholic condition, and finally the person lands up in hepatocellular carcinoma. The disclaimer here is, there are non-alcoholic fatty liver disorders, there are non-alcoholic hepatitis, and there is non-alcoholic liver cirrhosis. Mostly it is alcoholic, but it can also be non-alcoholic. That is why the case, in every case you have to ask, if you are an alcoholic, how much alcohol do you drink? The best, I have read this one article where I was reading it in a newspaper, where I saw that a man in Kerala was diagnosed with alcoholic liver cirrhosis and he never touched alcohol. First, doctors thought that he's lying because they were not getting any cause for this cirrhosis, and they asked his family members everything, but they told no, he does not drink alcohol. When the family members also told that he doesn't drink alcohol, they were thinking, oh, then what is wrong? Constantly they tried to understand, but they neither got a cause for his liver cirrhosis, and they could not explain. He was a very well learned man and a very good polite gentleman. And one fine day, the person himself told that he was taking, after food he takes a medicine, and that has been regularly, he takes it from last 25 years. And then they found out it was some different kind of medicine. I don't know which medicine it was, but it was some different kind of herbal medicine, locally made, which had some amount of alcohol at such a level that it affected his liver, and he landed up into liver cirrhosis. So be careful with what you're putting inside your body. You never know that it might harm you, so it's better make a point to read the ingredients also. Now we'll take up the questions. I have done with my lecture right in 20 minutes. So last 5 minutes that we see for the questions. If anybody wants to come into the live, do let me know. I'll take you in. And if anybody has any questions, let me know. So, I'm just seeing, give me a minute. Somebody, yeah, Syed Junaid Afzal is telling first sign of liver disease is altered sleep. Definitely, you can say that. Means basically you feel tired. So you feel tired. Yes, Sadia Khan 784 says that the last is hepatocellular carcinoma. So HCC is hepatocellular carcinoma. SHKO Health says which stage it's controllable. The first stage, that was fatty. And please upload this episode on your YouTube channel, Syed Junaid. Yes, I will upload. And for people, I would want to say that there's a YouTube channel which has more than 300 videos. Everything is for free. All laboratory videos, all medicine videos, all biochemistry videos, some microbiology videos, and some career concepts are also given over there. Please have a look. The link is given in my bio. Sadia Khan says stop the alcohol. Exactly, stop the alcohol. That is the best treatment. And any other questions? Any other questions? Or anybody who wants to come in the live, please let me know. And if there are any other topics that you want me to take in live, please let me know. You can put it in your comments. I hope now you've got the answer to the yesterday's question that I posted. Anybody else who wants to ask a question, who wants to come into the live? Shruti, we have almost completed the live. You will need to check this after I share it on the Instagram. And also I'll post it on the YouTube. Any other questions? Please let me know. And if anybody wants to come into the live and ask me questions, let me know. And if you want to propose a topic for the next free live teaching that will be happening the next week, that also you can let me know. I know, Shruti. Don't worry. I'll post it. You'll not miss anything. My students don't miss anything. They always learn. And I always learn from them. Okay. Amrita is asking few differential diagnosis of liver cirrhosis. That is what we discussed. We discussed that it can be alcoholic liver cirrhosis or it can be non-alcoholic liver cirrhosis. And when it is non-alcoholic liver cirrhosis, we do not know the cause. But the case that I posted yesterday, on that we could have a lot of differential diagnosis, where there was a 35-year-old unemployed man who was alcoholic and he had yellow eyes, yellow skin, and the bilirubin level was 32 milligrams per dl. So on that we can have a lot of differential diagnosis, like people told that it could be a hepatitis, viral hepatitis, HBV, HCV. Definitely, because the entire history was not given. If there was a history of intravenous use, IV drug injection, drug abuse, then definitely it could have been hepatitis B or hepatitis C, but that was not given. The only history that was given was that was alcoholic patient, and it was an alcoholic liver hepatitis. Don't worry, Maxwell, I'll share this on the Instagram. You will not miss anything. Any other questions? Thank you, Karthik, for checking on the live and being a very good audience and being a very good student. I'm really very thankful that you people come and you people attend the live. I feel very happy. What is fatty liver? Fatty liver is when the liver increases slightly in the size and the little lipid or triglyceride deposition in the liver. It's called as fatty liver. It can be because of obesity or lipid dyslipidemia, that is lipid profile goes here and there. That is why. I have had a patient who had a fatty liver grade 4, and she was non-alcoholic, but she was obese, and that was the reason was for her fatty liver. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Redand. Sachin, we are on the end of the live, but thank you for joining in. What is your advice to students? My advice to students is keep learning from everybody, and keep learning from your environment also. Keep learning from each other, keep learning for everybody. I follow this advice till today. I feel that you people teach me and I teach you. It's a process of exchange. Always be humble, always be polite, and read the books. Don't go on the internet. That's very important. Google does not say all the correct answers. Thank you for philosophical prose poem and how to prepare for USMLE. That's a very big topic. I'll take a live on that. Thank you, Shalari. And I'm sorry that I, in the sickle cell anemia live, I missed you, basically. I really missed you. Thank you, KKT Kaku. Thank you, Amrita. I was once a student. That is why I'm telling no Google. Okay, we're done for the session. Thank you so much. Tomorrow there will be a live with a doctor who's from a very reputed hospital in Mumbai. So she'll discuss about COVID, and she herself has been affected by the COVID twice. So she'll discuss that. And Karthik, the next topic for the free live teaching, you have to suggest me. You people have to suggest me which is the which topics do you want for free live teaching. I'll do that. Basically, I'm concentrating more on the disease and the biochemical aspects so that we can correlate each other. Because metabolism is one thing that you people do it yourselves, and I have posted a lot of videos on YouTube also. Now I feel like I need to take up a lot on diseases and the biochemistry aspect of it. But if you still have any topic, you let me know. Okay? Good night. Have a great day. Wear the mask. Wash the hands. Maintain social distance. No, I cannot speak Arabic. I can speak English, Hindi, Marathi very fluently. SLE. Okay. Systemic lupus erythematosus is a very good topic. We'll take that. Thanks, Syed. Anyone else wants to put up a topic, let me know. Thank you. I am Pavan Bavaskar. Good night.